and I hear someone knocking in the door. I look and I see the neighbor like breaking through the door. I'm like, yo, chill, what's going on? And then I look back at my wife and I see the room full in smoke. Of course, it was a tough situation. It was like we had to leave the place, we had to move out of the place. A lot of problems. Another bro talk for me, and when I speak about this bro talks again, it's unedited, no cuts, no nothing. I just go deep into some important subjects. This is one of them. It's one of the most important subjects you can think of. Problems in life affecting your training, or what do you do when problems hit? And of course you might think that, bro, you know, there could be some problems where I must skip. You know, it's very important. We'll get into that because I might open your eyes to some stuff, and I'll be doing, by the way, these bro talks like once a week at least. That's the goal. So hopefully I'll be able to. That's the goal. I should be able to. So, man, it's like, of course life problems will affect you, and I hear it all the time from, you know, just random people or even people who join the coaching. They're like, oh yeah, I've had some periods where because of problems in life I skipped for a couple of months and stuff like this, or a couple of weeks I skipped. And the interesting thing, is when they tell me about the problems they've had which made them skip training, I've had the same problems. So usually we all kind of deal with the same things. But why should you not skip? The number one reason: problems will happen all the time. And the reason we do skip is because we think that, oh, this problem is so special, I must skip training for it. No, these problems will happen all the time. So if it happened once, if you skip once because of a problem, you'll skip again, you'll skip again, you'll skip again every single time, believe me. And I've had this type of stuff, you know, I've had many problems where, in the worst case, I'll tell you one of the only things you are allowed to do when crazy problems happen: leave it for the next day. That's it. You're not allowed to fully skip. It's not too good, it's not too good. You'll do this again and again and again, and you cannot be a serious athlete. And many people, one of the mistakes I actually notice in the people who skip because of problems, because of some random things, they think that the problem they had or the problem they experienced is special. Like, oh, you know, he's the only guy who experienced this stuff. It never happens to anybody else. Most of the athletes you look up to experience the same thing, but they never skipped. That's the difference. You understand? There is no such option. This is honestly, maybe you might be upset if I say this, but this is the bare minimum. To never skip is the bare minimum. And again, you might be upset. The kids are having some fun in the background. But yeah, you might be upset if I say that, but it's the truth. And I'll get into more details. I can even give you some examples. There was a time, even a couple of months ago, where there was a fire in my house. Like, you know, there was actually like a fire. And I'm glad the neighbors woke me up, because otherwise, so I got very lucky. There was a kebab shop in the building that caught on fire, and through the ventilation system, there was fire in my house. And I hear someone knocking. Someone knocking in the door. I thought there's some construction going on. And then I'm like, I wake up, which I never do. I never wake up for random stuff. I look in the eye thing, and I see the neighbor like breaking through the door. I'm like, yo, chill, what's going on? You know, I thought some random grandma knocking on the door wants to like stab me or something. Like, I was a bit worried. And then I look back at my wife and I see the room full in smoke. Interesting. And guess what? Of course, it was a tough situation. It was like we had to leave the place, we had to move out of the place. A lot of problems. I went to work out first. And then I was dealing with all this stuff. And of course, in the worst case, I could have left it for the next day. That's it. Again, you leave it for the next day. Things are tough. You don't leave it for very, very late. Well, then do not complain if you got problems going on or you don't progress. Okay? Do not complain. You're not allowed to complain. If you don't progress and you don't get to what you want, it's because you don't deserve it. Look, this might be upsetting, this might be harsh, very intense for me to say. It's the truth. You do not deserve to be where you want to be if you don't do the right things. And this is one of them. You need to realize this stuff, because this subject, it is pretty deep. And the only situation when you can leave it for like 2 days later than usual, or even skip a workout, is if some family stuff happened. You understand? If some intense family stuff, but this is very rare. So even then, you solve the situation, you do what you can in that situation, and then you quickly go to train. try, like you should try, okay? Many people I know, even family members, even friends, all of them have full-time jobs. All of them work a lot. All of them have family. All of them have wives. They still never skip. You need to know your priorities. You understand? You need to have the priorities on point. And the only people who can say something about what I'm saying now is people who don't work out and they want to use excuses. You understand? Oh, bro, but there's this information, you know, there's this important stuff about problems, you know, you can skip if this, workout is not the main thing. Well, it's not the main thing, but again, if you do skip, if you do quit because of problems, do not complain if you don't progress. Do not blame somebody. Do not blame something. It's your fault all the time. Take accountability. If you do not take accountability, you will never change. You understand? If you never say, bro, I actually messed up, it's actually my fault, you will never change. If you do not blame yourself, you'll never change. And again, you don't blame yourself with the goal to be very upset in life, to be suicidal or something. Of course not. You don't blame yourself for that goal. You blame yourself for skipping or for doing something wrong only with the goal to improve. Only with the goal to not do this again. That's it. So every time you've messed up, let's say you skipped working out because of some problem, let's say you skipped for 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, you get into your training. You try to work out, you didn't progress. And you even lost strength. This is the best situation that can happen to you. As much as you might think, bro, how is this the best situation? This is very bad, I didn't progress. Well, it's the best situation because you was not supposed to progress. You was not supposed to get stronger. You was supposed to lose strength. This is normal. You don't like it, right? Well, how about you don't skip? You understand? All the consequences that happen to us are because of what we did. You understand? You don't want this to happen anymore? Don't complain or blame something. Change, make a difference. Change something. If you don't change anything, nothing is going to change. You understand? You want things different? Do things different. You understand? You can't just stay the same and expect a different outcome. This doesn't happen like this, okay? So, and again, you need to realize all of the top athletes you look up to are going through same thing like you. Same things. And I'm sure you've seen these type of videos online where you can relate to them a lot. Like, for example, when you're a young kid and you look through the window of the car and you imagine a random guy, you know, just like a Spider-Man figure, you know, acting like he's going with you, you know, he's doing stuff or using your fingers to do this. And you're like, man, so everybody lives the same life. What? Same thing with problems. Everybody deals with the same problems. You understand? You think my stuff is all smooth and nice. Well, it is because of my mindset. So I don't ever look at problems as something I will complain about, I'll feel bad about. No. A problem happened, I solve it and I try to solve it. If this problem is just sad and bad, but I cannot do anything about it, well then don't think about it and move on. Move on. It's like, why would you think or ruin your mood or ruin your life about some problems that you can't have an impact on? You cannot change anything. That's why I also don't watch news, because there's a lot of problems there. What are you going to do about them? Nothing. So why watch them? I don't watch them. By the way, maybe I wasn't supposed to even speak about this, but I'm saying stuff as it is. So again, the number one thing you need to think about when you plan to skip, the athletes you look up to, they don't do this stuff. So what you need to do is to be like the athletes you look up to, or even better. You know how I thought of trying to maybe be better than the athletes I look up to is through knowledge. I wanted to get more knowledge than them. That's why I spoke to 26 top athletes out there. Yeah, I had multiple consultation calls with them. I wanted to dominate in knowledge. So now I don't dominate yet in results comparing to them. All I need is time. I progress every single time. And when I don't progress, I know why and I know how to fix it, which means I know what to do. It's all about time. All I need is time. I'm 23 years old. I've got so much time ahead of me. So this is all just the beginning. And man, having a good coach is a very, very important part. I would suggest anybody, it's worth the investment because you love this stuff, you know. It's going to save you a lot of time if you got the right person guiding you. And even recently, I opened my coaching and I only suggest people to join it if you have a job, you're ready to invest. If you're not ready to make some financial investment, or it's going to be very pressuring for you to do that, do not make it. Okay, don't join my coaching if you would feel pressured. So I do not suggest it to you. Once you have a job, you know, you feel more comfortable, you're ready to invest, only then I'm waiting for you. I'll leave the link in the description. You can join. And before that, maybe if you wanna, you know, spend a bit less to gain some good knowledge to the maximum level, I will leave also the link to my SSS program, which is minimum 5-10 years of worth of knowledge ahead, so you can progress for 5 to 10 years just with the SSS program. But of course, with the coaching, you've got me guiding you, me going through all the mistakes you make, how to solve them. So yeah, something like this. But yeah, cool guys, let me know in the comments, you know, comment what subject you want me to speak about in details about, because these are important things, very important things. And remember, you hearing about this stuff and actually doing is completely different. Hearing about it is easy, but actually doing what I told you in this video is very, very complicated. That's the hardest part. So yeah, comment, you know, like, subscribe if you like this type of ideas. I'm only gonna notice if you like the video. So boom, boom, quick button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.